Hi, parents. I'm doing a quick overview of our week right now. Our week is a little light because we really only are going to do focus on the last 3 days of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I have purposely not put everything up yet because we're starting um, a new cycle, some new material, and I don't really want the kids getting into certain things before it's time. But I did post some core work in case you wanted to work ahead. Um, Today is going to be a light day review. Okay, so today is supposed to be kind of a catch-up day. Um, and you can see on here there's some things for you to do. It does say I will not be accepting any more late work from cycle 1. I really have uploaded everything. I'm going to look through today anything that was turned in, but I'm really not going to be looking tomorrow or ahead. Past this morning, I won't be checking anymore. So focus on cycle 2 work, which would be last week's work, was when cycle 2 started. Get yourself all caught up, all ready for this cycle, and really start fresh because at this point, it's not going to affect your grade that much to do a couple of things. In second grade, we give. It's been difficult to grade over NTI. It's going to be some hard choices, but you can get a U, which would be unacceptable. You would know already if you were up for getting a U. So if you haven't heard from me, then you're okay. In NTI or NI means needs improvement, and we give out a lot of needs improvement. In regular classes, it's important that if you're not reading on grade level, that I give you an NI so that we are all very clear that there's room for improvement there. There's needs improvement. So it's different than when you're in middle school and high school and you're working for A's and B's and C's, and then those credits really matter. They do matter here, and I do take them into account. And I'm going to be working hard to keep everybody caught up on cycle 2. But it's just a different thing. Then we have satisfactory. If you're working on grade level, you're doing what you need to be doing. S's are awesome. And then we have O, which means outstanding. I am very skimpy with O's, so don't expect them. So if you get a lot of S's, you are rocking it. You can be very proud of that. O's are for people who are really above grade level. That's our definition of it. And most of the time, I get maybe no students who get all O's. So it's not really reasonable to think that, and that's just the way our grading scale is, and that's how we're trained. So it's just kind of what we have to deal with right now in NTI, and I'm doing the best that I can. It's hard because we have kids who have different levels of support at home, and I try to just really encourage students to do their best. But I also want to give you a reflection. If I were a parent, I'd pay more attention to the comment section of the report card than anything else. That gives me an opportunity to really give you direct advice in the future. And of course, you can always call me and let me know once you see them. They're going to be posted. I forget the date that they're posted. I'm sorry. I'll get that to you. I'm going to give you the date. I'm also going to give you how to get into your parent portal and see that report card once you're in there. I just haven't sent that out yet because I figure you won't be looking to do it until the report cards come. So I was just going to send it all out at once. So you can see I've already put up the word work choice board. We're going to be answering questions. Make sure you show up on Wednesday because we're going to be doing a science experiment to kick off this unit. We're going to try our very best to make this NTI experience more fun this cycle and more engaging. Our math we're still working on addition and subtraction. We're mainly working on comparison problems with tape diagrams. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. And today I would like for them to complete their 20 minutes of reflex still. So that'll be their math practice today, unless they have work from last week. So last week we had one of these tape diagrams on here. And if you saw lesson 15, matching word problems, and these tend to be this has been a most difficult thing that I've taught online for sure. And this is, our program is called Illustrative Math. You've probably seen the workbooks. And we're going to be finishing up the Unit 1 workbook in the next couple of days. So after that, if you're looking for some practice for your students to do, some extra practice or support, or you want them to review something, you can do anything in that workbook and not worry about, oh, well, I did something that they're going to do later. So on here, what they're really talking about is trying to teach them to work from these tape diagrams. So a tape diagram always has a hole at the bottom. Shouldn't say always. For addition and subtraction, it has a hole at the bottom, and it has 2 parts at the top. So we teach, and I know that first grade teaches part, whole, part. It's just kind of our way of thinking about it. So the kids have to really think now, do I have 2 parts that I need to put together to add? Or do I have a whole and a part, and I have to figure out what this other part is? And a lot of these are comparisons, meaning Lynn found 28 more shells than Diego. So we're talking about what's the difference between how many shells Diego has, how many shells Lynn had. And they're looking for a couple of things. One thing they could do is just start eliminating things that don't make sense. 40 and 57 are not in this problem, so we crossed that one out. So on this one, it says, well, you know, Lynn found 28 more shells than Diego. So it should be 28 more, meaning we're going to add to 32, 28. So really visualizing, thinking about what's going on in the problem, what makes sense. These are upper level things, but, you know, if they can master this, they'll be in really good shape and really able to solve word problems this year. So I'm going to continue to teach it. We should be finishing that unit this week, maybe a little bit into next week, and then moving on to unit 2, which is exciting. Let's see. So that's math for the week. So I just wanted to kind of give you an intro. I also wanted to kind of give you, I'm going to see if I can make myself big. Whoops, I just got rid of myself. That did not help. Hold on. Okay, I got myself back. I want to show you a couple of things that I've found success with, and I'm realizing there's so much up in my classroom that I forget. Like, we have this huge word wall that the kids use all year, and I constantly am adding words, those words that we use for weekly word work. We do the same weekly word work in class, and then I post them on the wall. So actually, the kids use that as a spelling help. It really helps them take the stress off of writing. Writing is the most difficult thing that we teach. It's also one of the most important things for them to grow into, because it supports their literacy in so many ways. Like when their writing grows, their reading grows. And when their writing lags, their reading lags. So we really push a lot of writing in class. They usually write for 20 minutes a day in my classroom. I would say 3 times a week we get to 20 minutes. 2 times a week we might be working on some other key elements or editing or working on other things, but they do a lot of writing in class. So this NTI process has made it hard to teach both reading and writing simultaneously and get enough time, get that 20 minutes in. So I really want them doing those guided writings when they come up. And there will be a guided writing on Thursday this week, just so you know. So on here, this is my daughter's. Now, this is her kindergarten sight word list, but this is her word list that her teacher gave us. And you have sight words, you have the Okolona sight word list, but I want you to notice that the nice thing about this one is it's in ABC order. And if you want a copy of this one, it's a simple one. But what I do is that she learns new words. I stick them on here, and then I tape this. It's in a little plastic sleeve. You can get these anywhere. They're real cheap. I stick this on her wall behind her. And then she can use this when she's writing. So when she's trying to fumble through her sentences, she can look and she'll say, oh, I need to spell out. Okay, out starts with an O. And then she can find it really easily. She uses this all the time. And what it does is it takes that stress away. There's a lot to process when you're writing. So this is a great idea. If you would like an alphabetical word work, what do you call it? Word wall like this. If you want me to send you one you can print, that's great. You can do this on a piece of paper with your own words and just put boxes on it. You can make it yourself. Really, you don't even have to draw the boxes. You can just put A, B, C. Just make the letters a little bit bigger than the words. And so they can find, or a little darker, so they can find their word quickly. We make these all the time in class. A lot of times my students have a personal word wall in their folder. where they can find those commonly misspelled or common words that they need. They might not need the little words, but they might need some of those big words. If they're constantly asking you how to spell that, write it down for them and just let them do it, because the more they see it correctly, the more likely they are to learn it themselves correctly. I also have an alphabet chart if you have a child who's my daughter does a lot of reversals. She's in kindergarten. So I have the alphabet and the number chart in front of her. That way she can look and check herself. Am I doing a reversal? Because the more she self-corrects it, the better she is. This is a hundreds chart. I know they have a hundreds chart. Be a good thing to tape up. They can use it while they're working to add and subtract. It's more effective than they're counting on their fingers. So it's a great tool to have in front of them. They can also go 10 up and 10 down. We talk about that a lot in class. So that's a great thing. So those are just a couple of tips. The other tip I want to talk about is a timer. You can get a timer online. You can get a timer on the clock or on your own clock. You could time from Alexa. We have an Alexa here. I set timers for her on. And setting the timer really helps you and them manage time. That's a really hard thing for second graders. And we set timers all the time in class, and it really holds them to it, especially if they can visually see it. It helps a lot more. So if you have the ability to set a timer, the online timer, if you look up online timer, it'll even show on your tab here, like how much time is left. And it really helps them. I would also watch how many tabs they have. I will go up and check. You can also check they're going to hate that I show you this, but you can check their history. Okay. If you go to history here, you can check, and this says recently closed. It's always interesting what they close right before you walk around the corner. I check these at school to see if they're on task. You can see what I've been working on. And then let's see. You can also look for it here. They can delete their history, but often this does not delete the actual report. And then if you feel like something's going on, you can tell them that JCPS can track and does track their Chromebooks. They can track them from a distance. So, I'm sorry. This up. Okay, so you guys have a great week. I hope that was helpful. I know it was a little bit long this week, but I wanted to start you guys off, hoping to start cycle 2 off on a great foot. Next week, I'm going to be talking about reading and my plan for helping students in reading. Goodbye.